Yo, what's up guys? It's Kurai here, and today I'm going to talk about a neat little Conkeldurr build I've been working on lately. I think Conkeldurr is a really underrated Pokemon in the OU tier. It really differentiates itself from other things like Medicham, Lopunny by being so bulky and sustainable. It can check a lot of things you wouldn't expect it to, like Zapdos can't do much to this, Rotom Wash can't do anything. If Coco doesn't have Dazzling Gleam, checks a lot of electric types, switches into Heatran and Laceflon, Toxapex, both Greninjas. It can even revenge kill Lopunny Kartana, and it does all of this, and is super bulky, but it's not passive. Anyway, so let's just get right into this build. So I started with Conkeldurr, and I thought to myself, how can I make this unique? And I opted to just make it super bulky, so I picked the item Assault Vest, which boosts your special defense, and I wanted the ability Guts. And you might think, why not go with Sheer Force if you have moves like Ice Punch, and Guts lets me act as a Scald Switch-in, or a Status Switch-in as a whole, and it keeps Conkeldurr really powerful while being able to sponge so many hits. So let's get into the move choices. I opted to go with Drain Punch to give me a lot of sustainability, and I opted to go with Mach Punch to have a tool against fast ice types like Weavile or normal types like Lopunny, or steel types like Kartana. So that priority is really nice for those kinds of matchups. I went with Ice Punch here because a lot of Landorus, you'll do with a lot of Landorus and Garchomp, so having a tool to hit those is really nice. And I went with Earthquake here to catch things like Magearna, to hit things like Heatran, just clean one shot. So Earthquake is nice for those. Oh, and also especially for Toxapex, so that you're not walled with your fighting ice coverage. The EV spread, I opted to go with Max Attack because I'm all about that power. Max Attack with a Guts boost hits so hard. You can do things like 2-shot Celesteela with your Drain Punch. And then I maximized Special Defense. And you might notice I didn't put any HP EVs, and this is because when you run into Assault Vest, you want to have a lot of Special Defense. And because Conkeldurr has so much HP naturally that I didn't need to invest anything into it, it's actually better for your calculations to just put a lot of the EVs in a Special Defense. So that's that. So now I thought to myself, what is something that I really appreciate switching into Steel types, Heatran, Zapdos, Skarmory, Celesteela, and the teammate that comes to mind is Tapu Bulu. So I opted to go with Tapu Bulu here as a partner. These two together put a lot of pressure on their mutual checks, and they're both really powerful and offer a lot of wall breaking. Also, Tapu Bulu's Grassy Surge, the Grassy terrain really heals up Conkeldurr and helps keep it healthy. So that's a really nice cool little combo there. I have to go with Choice Band because this team was turning out pretty offensive. I didn't need like a specially defensive Bulu because I have an AV Conkeldurr. So I went Choice Band here because, why not? We can afford it. So I went with Hornleech Woodhammer, the safe tried and true duo. Hornleech for healing up and Woodhammer for that extra nuke when you need it. You can do stuff like 2-shot Tornadus, which is really powerful. Superpowers for steel types, and Stone Edge to catch flying types like Charizard. These two together can get kind of weak to those kinds of things. So having a Lure in the last ditch scenario is pretty nice. I opted to go with enough speed for most like Rotom Wash. I didn't need to run max speed, I wanted to have a little bit of bulk because I wanted to keep this core nice and healthy for stuff like Ash Greninja. Then I maximize attack and run with the Choice Band for optimal power, and then throw the rest into health. So that's that. The next part that came to mind was actually Ash Greninja. If you recall, Mega Lopunny and Ash Greninja is a common core because of the Fighting Dark synergy. Fighting types typically struggle with Psychic types, which Dark types prey upon. So Ash Greninja is a really nice partner in that regard with Conkeldurr. Also, they form a very nice double priority core with Water Shuriken and Conkeldurr's Mach Punch. So together, these two can actually revenge kill a lot of threats, and you don't need to rely on something like a Choice Scarf. The Greninja set is pretty self-explanatory. Powerful Hydro Pump Stab, Water Shuriken for priority, Dark Pulse is your Dark Stab, and then Spikes. Spikes is really nice with a priority spamming core to make your endgame cleans really easy. And then one with the Choice Back set because just standard maximize your damage output, maximize my speed and my special attack, just for a lot of offensive presence you'll notice on this team. But when you have Conkeldurr, Tapu Bulu, and Ash Greninja, you're weak to a lot of things like Mega Alakazam, you're weak to Tapu Lele, and you're weak to Magearna. So I thought to myself, what can really handle those things and still add to the synergy of the team? And Jirachi came to mind actually. So Jirachi is really nice at, it sets Stealth Rocks first of all, so that's really important. You need a Stealth Rock on any competitive team. And forms a nice hazard stacking core with Greninja. Jirachi is also capable of dealing with Tapu Lele, Mega Alakazam, Magearna. It checks all three of those super hard. Actually, it straight up counters some of those. So that's really, really easing at mind. I have to go with Wish Protect instead of like a pivot set, because Wish is really nice with bulky Pokemon like Conkeldurr and Tapu Bulu. A lot of things like Heatran will want to switch in on Jirachi, and if you're switching into Conkeldurr repeatedly, you can kind of just Wish up and then throw in Conkeldurr and heal it all the way back for full. So Conkeldurr's recovery is it's pretty nice. And then one with Iron Head so we don't get stopped by stuff like Tyranitar, rather than something like Psychic. So yeah, that's the Jirachi set. I thought to myself, I'm pretty weak to Kartana because Knockoff Leaf Blade is a really lethal combo against the majority of this team so far. And I also needed some more speed, so I wanted Tornadus Therian here with the bulky pivot set. The Rocky Helmet is really nice to chip Kartana into potential Specs Ash Greninja Shuriken range or into a Mach Punch range. So the Rocky Helmet's really nice for that. Also nice for chipping down Landorus and whatnot. Tornadus is also going to act as our main defogger for this team, keeping the stuff like Sticky Webs and other kind of cheese strategies off of us. You need the Hurricane to hit hit things like Tapu Bulu and to hit Kartana. Knockoff is nice for Celesteela, which the team can kind of struggle with. So, knocking off the leftovers recovery is really nice. U-turn is your nice pivot move. And then you'll notice this EV spread is a little different from most. I'm running enough speed for stuff like Thundurus, Megalottes, stuff like that. Superior. So I ran enough speed for that, and then I maximized health, and I put the rest into defense. You notice that it's 248 HP EVs. This is because with an odd HP number, you can switch into Stealth Rock one more time and potentially get some regen switches out. Regenerator reminding you, heals you when you switch out. So this gives you one last ditch effort chance if you ever need to. With those 5, I was thinking, I don't have a ground type yet, but I have Stealth Rock, so I can afford like a powerful ground type wall breaker. Also, Conkeldurr and Ash Greninja can switch into fire types nicely, but I need something for stuff like Victini, which I was really lacking. So that's where Mega Garchomp comes into play. I noticed I didn't have a Mega yet, and I could afford the power that Mega Garchomp brings, so I went with that. I went with the Swords Dance 3 attacks. Didn't really need to fit Stealth Rock on here because I have it on Jirachi. Also, Swords Dance with Fire Fang is really nice for catching Celesteela, which again could be a problem. This set's really good at dealing with Stall, because together this can lure Skarmory, and then once Skarmory is gone, Stall doesn't really have anything for a Banded Tapu Bulu. So these two make a very nice wall-breaking core. I went Swords Dance, I went with Earthquake. If you're afraid of the grassy terrain weakening your Earthquake, you can do Stomping Tantrum, but I like Swords Dance Earthquake for extra damage against stuff like Tapu Fini, which could come into play when you're using your Ash Greninja, which really likes Tapu Fini getting destroyed. And then went with Dragon Claw for Dragon Stab and Fire Fang to lure Steel types. So yeah, that's the team, and next we're going to get into a demonstration of it. Alright, so we got a game here. Just a neat little replay against a cool Rain team actually, a Rain Dragonite team, and there's a Chansey. And that's pretty interesting. I haven't really seen a team like this before. On preview I had to identify what was the problem. Dragonite's actually one of the few setup sweepers that resists Oliver Common Priority. So I was thinking to myself, okay, how do I gotta play this game without letting it set up too much. And I gotta keep it low enough so that my priority can eventually get rid of it if it gets off a Dragon Dance. So I was thinking to myself, okay, I gotta prioritize Stealth Rock to break the multi-scale. And once I do that, then I just have to play it out in such a way that I can clean up with priority endgame. I noticed that Conkeldurr is actually really nice against this kind of team. Comes in on Chansey nicely. It can break down stuff like Zapdos. It can check Ash Greninja, because I'm assuming it's some kind of Protean or Ash Greninja here. Either way, it can revenge kill or check it. So I was thinking, okay, I can lead Jirachi pretty safely. Matches up nicely against like just about everything, and if I'm in a poor matchup, I have nice switch-ins for stuff like Zapdos. So he leads Pelipper, and I lead Jirachi, and I'm thinking, okay, this guy doesn't know. This Jirachi has a very wide move pool. I could have something like Thunderbolt, so I would expect him to scout, and even if he stays in and goes for something like Scald, Jirachi's so bulky he can take it up anyway. So I think to myself, okay, I can get my rocks up here. So He opts to just hard switch out, anticipating a Thunderbolt, and I get up my Stealth Rock. I think to myself, okay, I don't have a good switch in, especially if he goes for a hard Ice Punch here. And Tornadus isn't very useful this game. It doesn't actually beat anything. So I kind of just throw it in and get some Rocky Helmet chip off. That's what I'm planning to do anyway. And if he goes for a Stealth Rock, I might be able to defog it. So yeah, he just goes for an Ice Punch, weakens my Tornadus. I don't really care. He can take it. This chip on the Swampert can be nice for later. Swampert in general, you want to get off some chip on it so that you can revenge kill it easier later on. So I think to myself, okay, I can switch in my Bulu here. Bulu is bulky enough to take an Ice Punch and, you know, kill this Swampert in just one go. So he has to switch into something like Zapdos, and I can see what kind of Zapdos set it is. If he goes into Dragonite, I can weaken it down and then bring it into priority range by Greninja or Conkeldurr. So I just go for a safe Hornleech here. And he reveals he's max defense. Notice that this Zapdos switched in, but didn't reveal pressure as its ability. Normally when a Pokemon has pressure, it says it's exerting it, but it didn't say that, so it's static. And this is important, because now this means my Conkeldurr can really abuse this Zapdos. I switch into Conkeldurr here, and I just start trying to hit this Zapdos, predicting Roosts, because it'll lose the flying typing, and I can just hit it with the Drain Punch. I'm actually intentionally trying to get static paralyzed here, because it'll boost my attack. So he goes for a Thunderbolt, and I just go for an Ice Punch, just weakening the Zapdos, and I get paralyzed, and I'm thinking, yes, this firepower is going to be very important later on. I just go for a Drain Punch here, get a little bit of healing up, and you'll see this Drain Punch recovery in the grassy terrain, I'm back to full. So anyway, he just U-turns, because I anticipated a Hurricane which I'd be able to eat up, or a Pivot into something, and I just get my free kill. So I stayed in and went for another Ice Punch, as he goes into Zapdos, and I get rid of that, which is really nice for my Tapu Bulu, because now he doesn't have a sustainable way of switching into Wood Hammers. So Zapdos is gone, brings in the Pelipper, and I think to myself, okay, maybe he doesn't have Hurricane, and even if he does, I can eat it up anyway. Conkeldurr's putting in so much work, getting me so much information, killing so much stuff, and I'm really happy with how Conkeldurr's putting in the work this game. So he reveals Hurricane, I just go into my Jirachi, because I can really check this nicely. Because he didn't reveal a Choice Specs, he just revealed like a bulky set. So I got my Stealth Rock here, and I think to myself, okay, he's not going to go for Hurricane here against a Steel type. He's either going to Defog if he has it, in which case Tapu Bulu is free, or he's going to go for a Water move, in which case Tapu Bulu can take that. So I switch into Bulu here, which gives me a free opportunity to hit something really hard. He actually goes for Skull, he doesn't have Defog, so that's pretty relieving, because that means the Dragonite can't switch in. I just Wood Hammer, Pelipper dies, and I'm thinking, okay, nice. So the Dragonite comes in, and I think to myself, okay, he's going to set up, so I just got to weaken it. And Wood Hammer does 40 through a quad resist, which means he can't get off a second Dragon Dance safely. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I don't need Jirachi anymore, and he's either going to go for something like Supersonic Sky Strike or like Fly, so Jirachi can pivot in on that and I can safely sacrifice it. So I switch into my Jirachi here, as he actually just goes hard for Fly, and I'm thinking, okay, I can get up a nice Iron Head here, weaken that Dragonite down even further, and then I'm content with letting my Jirachi just go to an Earthquake or something. So yeah, he Earthquakes me, the crit doesn't really matter. I bring Greninja, and I just go for Shuriken. I don't really care if he switches out to Chansey, because if he switches the Dragonite out, it's dead because of Stealth Rocks. And if he stays in and takes the Water Shuriken, I get my transformation off. So I Water Shuriken, the Dragonite dies, and I have my Ash Greninja. So he goes into his own Greninja, interestingly enough, and I'm thinking, okay, he didn't go into Chansey, so he must be trying to go for a transformation of his own here. And Greninja's actually has enough natural bulk to take a Mach Punch from full. And I don't need Greninja to win this game. I can win this game with Mega Garchomp and Tapu Bulu and Conkeldurr. So I actually go for Water Shuriken here to weaken the Greninja and put it in a Mach Punch range. So I'm content with losing my Greninja to give him that. He also reveals Ice Beam, which is very important because going for Ice Beam means that my Conkeldurr can switch in and very comfortably take a hit. So I go into my Conkeldurr here, and he switches out because he doesn't want to lose his Greninja, and I Drain Punch. I almost kill it and I heal so much health back, which means my Conkeldurr can take another hit from Greninja, as you'll see that comes into play later on. I switch out here. I don't actually risk going for Mach Punch because if my Conkeldurr gets paralyzed and he hits me, then I'm in a really bad spot. I can't reliably check Greninja anymore. So I switch out to keep it healthy and I just go into my Garchomp. So he gets up Stealth Rock, which doesn't really matter. I just go for a kill here. And he brings in Chansey because he wants to weaken this Garchomp into the range of something like Hydro Pump or something. So I just Swords Dance and I just opt to kill the Chansey. It doesn't really matter. His Chansey is not checking anything anyway. So yeah, he trades the Chansey for some damage on Garchomp. Chansey goes down. The Greninja comes in. I don't need to switch around. I can just let Garchomp die. And I can bring in my Conkeldurr for free. I go for Mach Punch here. It gives me 2 attempts at killing the Greninja in case I get paralyzed, which I did get paralyzed the first time. But then I killed the Greninja and Conkeldurr finished up the game. Conkeldurr did so much work this game, and I'm really satisfied with how it turned out. The team has a lot of natural bulk to just take down a lot of threats and a lot of chip on stuff like Rocky Helmet and Hazards. So yeah, that's the team. That's a demo of it. I hope you enjoyed, and if you like the content, leave a like, subscribe for more. And yeah, that's that. See you guys in the next video.